Exactly 6 months ago, I basically manifested my dream life in the span of 6 months. When I was 16 years old, sitting in my parents' crib, I used to always think about just my dream life. And I was always like thinking of Bali, 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 Bali. Just there was something about this island and this digital nomad lifestyle, right? Making my first online money and just living that island life. Because if you guys don't know, my mom is from the Philippines, my dad is from Trinidad, so my roots is strictly just island lifestyle, right? So I knew that my dream life and just the life that I felt like was in alignment with me was obviously someone who was fit, somebody who obviously was living on the island, tropical, within warm weather, and I was making online money. Right. So what I did was I literally would write in this journal. I'd write my dream life and what it looked like. Right. 6 a.m. Wake up, pray, cold shower, right? Then I go on my run. I do my run club. I do my little 5K, 10K, you know what I'm saying? Some light. And then I go home, finish the run, drink a coconut. Then after that, I go home, maybe film some content, film some videos, right? Get some work done, do some client work. Then after that, I will go get some food. Then after that, I play some paddle with the boys, right? Like I literally wrote all of these things down before it was a reality, right? So when I'm telling you that visualization could literally change your entire life, right? What you visualize on a consistent basis will eventually become reality. If you're visualizing you in a poor state, if you're visualizing you working a 9 to 5, if you're visualizing yourself living a life of poverty and struggle, that is what you're gonna see, right? There's this red car theory, and it's like, so basically goes something along the lines of this. So when you start to shift your attention onto, let's just say, a red car, right? There's something about your brain that tricks you into start noticing the red cars around you. So when you put your attention onto it, it's only gonna grow. Right? If you put your attention into making money, if you put your attention into success, if you put your attention into abundance, that's what's just going to keep showing up in your life. If you're always talking about gratitude and being grateful for the things that you have in life, you're only going to receive more, right? This is why the way your mindset is, your perspective on your life will literally dictate where you're going to be in the next couple of years. This is why I say visualization and mastering your mind is the only way that you're actually going to see success. The only way that you actually gonna change your life. It all starts within here, right? Before anything ever became reality, it all started within here. Every single dream that you have is attainable. Look at every single person in the world that was successful. They always were hated on. They had a thought. You got successful people like Bill Gates. You got successful people like Nikola Tesla. You got Elon Musk. All these guys were hated on for having a vision, but they knew that eventually what it is that they were thinking was going to come to reality. They all understood the power of visualization. They all understood that if you put your energy into something after a long period of time, it will eventually come. So the red car theory pretty much indicates your life. What do you think about constantly on the most? What do you think about constantly the most? Once you understand how to shift that and change the way you actually see life, is when your life will literally change. So with that being said, I moved to Bali not too long ago. In 6 months, what I was able to accomplish takes people 2, 3, 4 years, but I've done it in 6 months because I visualized it every single day, right? I started to live in alignment with that exact person. And when you start to live in alignment with that future version of yourself, it starts to attract the things that person is able to require. This is what you call quantum leaping. It's jumping into another timeline of yourself that is your highest version, right? The version of you that has it all. And when you start to like physically align and energetically align yourself as someone who's able to, or capable of acquiring, let's just say 100K months, right? Acquiring this business, right? I wouldn't be able to be who I am if I didn't go to Bali. I wouldn't have 50,000 followers on social media, making over 40K a month on social media if I didn't go to Bali, because in order to become that person, I had to embody it, right? And I literally visualized, like, I knew before. You can ask everybody that I know, before I actually got to this place, I was telling people, yo, like, this is my plan. I'm gonna go to Bali, quit my job. I'm gonna just, I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm going to just keep posting and keep figuring shit out until this content thing becomes my full-time job. Fast forward 7 months. I left in November 2025. It's currently May 29, 2026, and I'm making over 40K a month USD from my online business with my personal brand of having, and I only have 50K followers. In 6 months, I was able to go from making 1,800 every 2 weeks from a city job, being a caretaker, literally just cleaning at schools, to somebody who's now making 40K a month. Now I can actually help my family out. Now I can actually do things on my own time. Now I can work on my own time. And most importantly, I can work on things that I'm actually passionate about. I used to be stuck in my job in that old mindset, right? I used to think that, man, this content thing wasn't gonna work, right? Man, like, being in this job, like, maybe one day it's gonna work. And the truth is, the one thing that was literally stopping me from reaching that breakthrough, right, was embodying it, right? The reason why I didn't quit my job is because deep down I knew that I wasn't able to acquire this life, right? I didn't fully believe in the vision. That's why I didn't quit my job. I had doubt. But the moment I said, let me just take that leap of faith, right? Let me just, take that risk and actually go all in, because that's what truly feels aligned with me. The moment I did that, everything started going in my favor. Right? It was like God was telling me, yo, this is the path you need to go, because things are just going to work out if you just go this way. It might be scary. It might seem unknown, but that's the exact path that you need to start taking. So whatever it is that you do in your life, you need to start with visualization, right? Visualize having $1 million in your bank account. Visualize driving your dream car. Visualize having your wife, your dream wife, right? Maybe a Proverbs 31 woman, a woman of God who will stay loyal to you and, take care of you in times of, but like, you can literally visualize your life into reality. That's my main point that I'm trying to really make here, is that literally just by thinking things and putting your energy into certain things will grow, right? What you put your energy in will literally grow. So here's the truth, right? When you start to visualize these things, right, and you want to live this life, the more you think about something, the more you're going to get ideas or just like inspiration to kind of move in that path. When you're thinking of negativity all the time, you're going to find ways to get into that negative outcome. But if you think positive, you're going to think of ways. Your brain is just going to literally automatically pull up ways so that you can get the positive outcome. So it really just depends on, okay, what do you choose to feed? And how do we start to break that limiting belief and self-doubt that keeps us boxed, that keeps us trapped? How do we do that? We do that by putting our trust in God, right? God is literally the only thing that has helped me achieve every single goal that I've ever wanted. Whenever I needed a problem, whenever I needed an answer, or whenever I needed a solution to something, I always would just pray about it and let God figure it out. Because personally, me, I'm only human. I only can see with my 2 eyes. I can't see. I don't know what if I'll be living the next day, right? But I know that if I put my faith in God, that He will take care of my next 10, 15, 20 steps, as long as I just keep walking in the right path that He's guided me to. So here's the exact visualization method that I've used to create my dream life. The first thing you need to do is figure out what you want, right? You need to create the vision. Where do you see yourself in the next maybe 6 months, 1 year, right? Create a timeline of where you want to be in the next three to 6 months, right? Once you figure it out, now you have a guide as to where you need to go. Then all you need to do is figure out what you can do in your daily life that can create a plan of action to actually get to that point, right? To actually get to that goal or that vision. You just got to be consistent, right? You just got to focus on the day-to-day tasks. Stop focusing on what you got to do next week. You don't know if you even have tomorrow. You just need to lock in the moment, figure it out as it goes, visualize the process as you continue to get closer to your goal, and eventually it will happen. So that being said, the biggest lesson that I've learned is that the vision, the images that you hold in your mind consistently on a constant basis is what's going to end up coming into your life, right? Is what's going to come into fruition. So if you want to change your life and actually manifest that dream life, or actually start living the life that you actually dream of, click the link down below so you can start working with me. You can start working on your personal brand and basically start monetizing it, living your dream life, working from anywhere in the world. As you guys seen, I went to Bali. I'm going to be going back in maybe 2 months from now on. So with that being said, if you guys want to work with me, apply with the link down below. And the last thing I'm going to say is, before you go to sleep tonight, make sure you visualize where you see yourself in the next 6 months and watch how visualization can actually change your life. It's your boy Jalen. I'm signing out.